Welcome to a new story made by Oracle 1. The Park of Hearts. Every morning at precisely 8:15, the park came alive with soft footsteps, rhythmic laughter, and the gentle rustling of leaves. It was a time of day that belonged to the early risers, the dreamers who awakened when the sun was still shy, and those with four-legged companions whose joy for the world was unmistakable. For James, the daily ritual began with a steaming cup of coffee before he gathered his ever-energetic golden retriever, Bailey. With leash in hand and the dawn caressing his face, he walked to the park nearby, his solace, his space where time slowed just enough to breathe in the day's possibilities. Similarly, across town, Emma prepared for her own morning routine. Taking Scout, her spirited border collie with eyes as lively as the autumn sky, for their daily adventure was the thread woven into her every day. Emma cherished these moments where the chaos of the city felt distant, and instead was replaced by the gentle pulse of nature and a steady heartbeat beside her. They did not always notice each other's presence. But one crisp autumn morning, as golden leaves danced gently down, their paths crossed with an undeniable rhythm, beginning a silent song they would play every day. James rounded the corner of the faded cobblestone path, tugging gently on Bailey's leash to keep pace. Bailey's tail wagged in enthusiastic circles, nostrils flaring with the scent of damp earth and fallen leaves. As James looked up, he caught a glimpse of a familiar figure ahead. Emma, kneeling to adjust Scout's collar, speaking softly, her hair catching stray rays that painted her in a soft glow. Their eyes met in that brief, suspended moment. Emma smiled, a small, polite curve of the lips, and James nodded his greeting, shy yet familiar. "Morning," James said, as Bailey approached Scout, wagging his tail. "Morning," Emma replied, her voice warm, eyes sparkling behind her glasses. They seemed to like each other. Bailey gave a happy bark, and Scout responded with a playful leap. And so the ritual began. Day after day, at the same time, their paths converged. A silent dance marked by intertwined conversations about their dogs, their lives, the nuances of everyday joys and frustrations. The park, once just a place to walk, became a bridge between strangers, slowly eroding the walls built from past wounds and cautious hearts. Their small encounters unfurled gently, like the buds of spring coaxed by sunlight. James discovered Emma's passion for painting, her dreams often outshining the gray routine of her sales job. Emma, in turn, learned of James's resilience, that beneath his calm demeanor lay a past scattered with chapters of loss and hope, words left unspoken lingering in his gaze. One morning, even the crisp air held a different weight. James arrived first that day, the cold seeping through his coat as Bailey trotted excitedly, nose to the ground. But Emma was nowhere in sight. Scout didn't pull towards the familiar path. Minutes melded into an hour, and James's heart tightened with an unfamiliar ache. "Where is she?" he whispered to Bailey, who looked back with a cautious tilt of the head. The following day, James stood hesitantly at the edge of the park, his breath fogging the chilly air. Bailey's leash felt heavier, the usual excitement dulled by an absence that echoed between the rustling trees. Moments later, Scout appeared. Alone, paws skimming the earth with urgency, eyes searching. Emma was nowhere behind him. James knelt, voice gentle as he called, "Scout, hey boy. Where's your mom?" Scout's distress pulled at James's heartstrings, a silent plea for help. Without a second thought, James tucked the leash into his pocket, allowing Scout to trail beside him as he walked toward the park bench where he and Emma usually met. Questions flooded his mind. Was she sick? Had something happened? James scanned the morning faces, searching for the flicker of familiarity, the sparkle of Emma's presence. As the days turned into a week, and Scout continued arriving alone at their usual meeting time, James's concern grew deeper. Emma's absence was no longer a vague worry, it rooted itself inside his chest like a stone. Yet, every morning, Scout showed up right on time, tail wagging cautiously, as if reminding James of the bond they shared through her. Determined to find some answers, James made calls to local animal clinics, he checked social media groups, and even small cafes nearby. But Emma was nowhere to be found. One rainy afternoon, James brought Scout back to the park, sheltering them both under the wide canopy of towering oaks. A muddy, dampened border collie pressed close, blinking at the world hesitantly. James stroked Scout's fur and promised silently, "We'll find her." The next morning, with a heaviness in his chest, James read a handwritten note on a park bulletin board, yellowed and curling at the edges. It was an announcement for a community art exhibition. One of the featured artists was Emma Saul, showcasing her watercolors. James's breath hitched. Watercolors. He remembered their conversations about her paintings, vivid landscapes and scenes that somehow captured the essence of hope. Could this lead to her? He decided to attend. The gallery was a modest space bathed in soft light, paintings arrayed like windows into another world. James stood before a watercolor of a golden sunrise spilling across a serene lake, colors so alive he almost felt the cool air on his skin. Step by step, he wandered until he found a small, handwritten sign beside a painting of a dog, eyes bright and full of life. Scout, Emma's signature read beneath. Suddenly, a soft voice broke through the quiet. "You like it?" Emma stepped into the doorway, a slight smile breaking through the exhaustion in her eyes. James's heart stalled. "I've been looking for you," he said, words raw and earnest. "Scout's been arriving alone every day." Emma's smile faltered, replaced by a vulnerability that she shared quietly. "I needed time, James. When the doctors told me about the tumor, I didn't know how to deal with it. I withdrew. I couldn't even look at Scout without feeling broken." James took a breath, stepping closer, offering more than words. "You're not alone, Emma. I want to be here. For you, for Scout, for all of us." Tears flooded Emma's eyes, the walls she had built crumbling under the weight of shared pain and hope. They sat in silence, the gallery fading around them, replaced instead by the quiet, unwavering promise of connection. In the weeks that followed, Emma grew stronger, fueled by the care around her. James's steady presence, Scout's boundless energy, Bailey's comforting warmth. Their morning walks resumed, now richer with the stories they shared, the laughter that filled the spaces that once held only silence. The park, their ever-steadfast witness, blossomed anew, its heart now echoing their own. Between the rustling leaves and the golden light, two lives, once wandering, found their rhythm not just in the footsteps of their dogs, but in the intertwined beats of their hearts. Like and subscribe for more stories.